Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Rux, I'm a Western Tropical Astrologer, and today we're going to be talking about the new moon in Cancer coming up on the 5th of July. This new moon, folks, is happening at 14 degrees 23 minutes of Cancer. Timing wise, it's taking place at 10:57 p.m. GMT time, so you can obviously adjust that for your own time zone. You might be wondering, who is going to feel this new moon the most? The answer is those of you who have in your natal chart planets, angles, important points such as the North Node around 14 degrees of cardinal signs. What are the cardinal signs? Let's recap. Cancer, Capricorn, Libra, and Aries. Now, those of you who have in your natal chart planets or angles around 14 degrees of the following, you might really enjoy this this new moon. Give me 1 second for the chart to load. Okay, so roughly 14 degrees of Scorpio, Pisces, Taurus, and Virgo. You're gonna like this new moon the most. Why? Because it's gonna make a really nice aspect, a really harmonious and supportive aspect with your natal placements, be it an angle such as the ascendant, or be it an important point such as the North Node, for example. Now, we are obviously going to go into the symbolism of this new moon. We're going to talk about the updates for each of the 12 zodiac signs. But before we do that, I have something really exciting that I want to announce, or let me put it this way. I have something really exciting that I want to remind you of, because you might have read about this already on my channel, maybe on my Instagram, on my community page, on YouTube. I have to say, I am a little bit, I wouldn't say that I'm nervous, but I'm really looking forward to this happening, because it's something that I haven't done here in the UK ever. I'm based in London, which is maybe the information that some of you who are here for the first time, you might not know this. You might not know this yet. So enough with the suspense. Enough with the I've got something, enough with the clickbait. I've got something exciting. I've got a surprise for you. 3rd and 4th of August, for the first time here in the UK, in London, I am hosting 2 live in-person workshops. It is the very first time when I'm hosting live workshops here in the UK. I have done this in the past in my natal Romania, in Bucharest. On the 3rd of August, we are going to focus on prosperity in astrology. To be very specific, we're going to focus on the house of money and income in your natal chart. If you have any planets in your second house of income, what do they mean? The signs in your second house of income, what is their meaning? What are their lessons for us? Financial lessons according to our natal chart. How do we earn money according to our natal chart? And how can we maximize our prosperity potential? What do we spend money on? What is our attitude towards money? How do we approach it? What are our beliefs around it? How can we maximize the cards that we have been dealt, so to speak, financially, using astrology? These are all topics that we are going to address on the 3rd of August, live in person in London. If you want to join, I'm going to leave the links both in the description box as well as in the comment section for both days, for the 3rd and for the 4th of August. On the 4th of August, we're going to focus on a different topic. So this is an astrological weekend in London, and the overarching theme is, how can we play to our strengths? So on the 3rd, we're going to focus on prosperity and our house of resources, income, and self-worth. On the 4th of August, we are going to focus on good luck. I mean, we all need a tiny little bit of luck, or maybe a little bit more than just a tiny speck of luck in order to make things happen. But sometimes it could be a little bit difficult to tap, or it could feel challenging to tap into our own personal flavor of luck, so to speak. So on the 4th of August, we are going to talk about Jupiter, the great benefic, the greater benefic in astrology, and its link with good luck and opportunities in our lives. We're going to learn about the symbolism of Jupiter. We are going to learn about Jupiter in the natal chart by sign and house placement, as well as the houses ruled by Jupiter in your natal chart. Now, if you want to join any of the workshops, you do not have to be an astrology aficionado, you don't have to be an expert, you don't have to be an existing student. You are going to get all the information that you need in order to capitalize upon and take advantage of the knowledge that will be shared during the workshops. We are going to work with our own natal chart, so if you want to take part in the workshops, I am going to need your date, time, and place of birth. And the time of birth is very, very important because that is what we utilize, in addition to, of course, the date, the place. That is what we utilize in order to generate your natal chart, which is the blueprint of the sky at the time when you were born. So, 3rd and 4th of August, an astrological weekend in London with Rocks, which is me, Rocks. I don't know why I said Rocks. It's probably because people here sometimes call me that. Prosperity and good luck. I mean, pretty juicy topics, if I may say so myself. You can participate in both workshops. You can participate in one of them if one of them is of more interest. How long are the workshops going to be? Between 10:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. So 4 hours in total, and we're gonna take a lunch break, roughly an hour long. It might be. Those of you who've taken part in my previous workshops know that sometimes it's 45 minutes long because I want to take advantage of every single minute that we spend together. So approximately an hour. We're gonna break for lunch. 10:30 in the morning, 2:30 p.m. Spaces are limited. Half of the spots have already been filled for both days, for the 3rd and for the 4th. So if you want to join, the link is in the description box for both days for you to make the payment on my website. The 2 links are also in the comments section. And I look forward to connecting with you live in person on the 3rd and 4th of August this year. It's, I mean, less than a month left. By the way, for those of you who are wondering if there's anything wrong with my breath, there's nothing wrong with my breath, but sometimes I can have a little bit of like difficulty in inhaling all the air available, just because I have a deviated septum. I know sometimes there's a lot of speculation in the comments. It's like, why can't she breathe? Like, la la la, is there anything wrong with her? People give advice. It's like, you should check your heart. I'm like, I'm absolutely fine. My heart is fabulous. But a deviated septum can only be fixed, improved, repaired through surgery, which is probably something that those of you who've gone through something like this, you know that that's the case. And I just could not be bothered just yet up until this point in my life to go through the recovery, because it's the recovery that takes quite a long time and you have to be very careful not to hurt your nose and whatnot. Anyway, enough about me. This is not why you're here. You are here to talk shop, to talk astrology. Also, those of you who want to work with me on a personal level, who want to book a personal astrological reading, a personal astrological consultation, you can find me on my website, which is written in the stars-astrology.com. You can go straight to the services section. I'm now taking bookings for the last week of August and the beginning of September. So generally the waiting time is a month and a half, even 2 months if you want to work with me one-to-one. And that is the bulk of my work. I am a full-time professional astrologer consulting clients on a daily basis. So written in the stars-astrology.com if you want to book a reading with me. Going back to the new one in Cancer. I feel like I've spoken so much about myself in this video, also because, maybe this is for the astrology students out there. This new moon is happening in my first house of identity, of life direction, of new beginnings, and I feel like it's very, very nicely aligned with me making this on video announcement about running the 2 workshops at the beginning of August. The new moon in Cancer is, I mean, it's a beauty. It's superb. Why? It is actually a really nicely aspected new moon because it's making a harmonious aspect to Saturn. It's also applying to a conjunction with Venus. So it is receiving really supportive aspects in terms of security, stability, long-term results, in terms of efforts and structure. It's also receiving this beautiful energy from Venus, planet of love, relationships, partnerships. So it feels like the new moon is likely to bring in a fresh start, a new beginning that involves collaboration, affection, connection, partnership, teamwork, and harmony in general, because that is what Venus brings. It brings harmony, it brings pleasure, it brings sharing, it brings peace, it brings beauty, it brings stability. Now, because the new moon is happening in a water sign, and actually there's a lot going on in the sky at the time of the new moon in water as well as earth. We've got a little bit of air and fire, but they're not really activated at the time of the new moon. So what does that tell us? It tells us that whatever fresh start, whatever new chapter, whatever new beginning we're experiencing, or whatever we're deciding to initiate at the time of this new moon, because the new moon is a great time to set intentions. It is a great time to kick things off. It is a great time to set out on a new journey. Whatever we kick off at the time of this new moon, it might be something that we maybe keep more to ourselves, or that happens more internally, or that happens more privately in our lives. It's not the most kind of like dramatic, kind of like outwards facing, externally visible new beginning. No. This is Cancer energy that we're talking about. Archetypally, Cancer is all about emotional safety, protection, a sense of being nurtured and protected and cushioned from the world in a space where we feel like we can be at ease, where we feel like we belong, where we feel like we can be taken care of, or where we feel like taking care of others. So there's a very kind of like protective, nurturing, nourishing quality to this new moon. And also the quality of the new moon is inwards facing and also very receptive. We are likely to attract things towards us at the time of this new moon, especially with Venus being involved. Venus, which is a planet of attraction, okay? The new moon is putting the spotlight on topics such as, both on a personal level as well as on a collective level, on topics such as home, family, roots, history, the past, children, motherhood, memories, nostalgia, belonging, nurturance, protection, emotional security, our emotional needs. So we are likely to see new beginnings and fresh starts regarding any of the aforementioned. We might also read about them in the news. Some good questions to ask ourselves at the time of this new moon are the following. What makes us feel taken care of? What makes us feel at home? Who makes us feel at home? What does home mean for us? Who is our family of choice? How can we soften? How can we nourish? How can we invest more emotional energy into the ties and the connections with people who feel like family? Also, another good question to ask ourselves is, what do we need? And generally the answer is going to come from our intuition at the time of this new moon. So rather than logic isn't really much involved at the time of this new moon. And it is genuinely a time to listen to our intuition, to listen to our gut feelings, to listen to our instincts, to listen to our emotions, to trust our feelings, to trust our emotions, and to trust that they are valuable, to trust their wisdom, I'd say. You know when you get a feeling about someone, you go into a room and you can just sense that there's something like off with someone, or you can just sense that someone's going through a hard time, or you can just sense that someone's maybe like hiding something. maybe this is very Scorpionic of me to these are all very Scorpionic examples of me to share. In any case, trust your gut, trust your feelings, trust your emotions, trust your intuition, and ask yourself, folks, what do I need in order to feel emotionally safe, secure, and happy? Ultimately, what is going to fill my cup? Now, Saturn, the involvement of Saturn in this lunation brings longevity to any sort of new relationships that are starting to form and that are starting to flourish. Venus brings love and affection and partnership, as I said. It's also a really good time for us to collaborate with someone, or to start collaborating with someone on an aspect of our lives that requires a lot of emotional investment. To start investing time in something that we really care about. It's also a very good time, if you ask me, to reconnect with our roots, with our past, or to potentially think about how we can settle and set down roots and put down roots and feel that sense of, again, cushioning and warmth and protection coming from having like a nest, like a temple. The home is supposed to be our temple, right? Where we rest, where we recuperate, where we're taken care of, where we are healed, where our needs are fulfilled. It is also a great time, for example, to start decorating a home, to make it more beautiful, to invest more in the relationship with a loved one, and to potentially also host people at home. Why not? I mean, it's very Cancerian, you could say. Also, be open to receiving things. That's my recommendation, folks, around this time. Trust your gut, trust your instinct when it comes to the energies and the people that make their way to you. It is a very fertile, a very nourishing, a very soothing, a very grounding, also new moon. Find ways to create more emotional comfort and more, how should I call it, more coziness in our in your lives, in our lives at the time of this new moon, if you can, folks. And also, I'm gonna leave it at that and then go into the updates for each of the 12 zodiac signs. I think this is a very good time to also listen to the needs of our inner child. What is your inner child trying to say or share with you? If we do not listen to the needs of our inner child or children, obviously I'm no psychologist, so this is purely from my own kind of research and reading. I understand that there is a high chance that as adults we somehow get stuck in that phase, in that stage where our inner child did not have its emotional needs met, or did not feel like it could express its needs and feelings and emotions. So talk to your own inner child. How would you talk to them? What would you say to them? How would you comfort them? This new moon is all about comfort, especially emotional comfort, I'd say. So, that's what's going on overall at the time of this new moon. If you are starting any new projects, it is my recommendation potentially to wait at least 12 hours after the new moon happens in the sky. So once again, it takes place at exactly 10:57 p.m. GMT time. And you can adjust that for like Eastern or whatever time zone you're in. When it comes to electional astrology, it is recommended that we wait at least 12 hours after a new moon has happened in order to kick off a project or in order to initiate something significant in our lives. Now we're going to go into the updates for each of the 12 zodiac signs. Please remember a few things before you listen to this part. My recommendation is to listen to the update for your rising sign, for your ascendant, because that is how this horoscope is built. That is how this general forecast is built. Secondly, this is a general forecast. Please remember that. I mean, I realize they would love to find answers and to resonate and to connect with everything that is said in general forecasts, but that's pretty much impossible. So remember that it is a general forecast. It is not a personalized astrological reading and consultation, if that is what you're looking after, because that is the most in-depth, the most granular, and probably the most useful astrological service that you can use. Of course, I recommend working with an astrologer. If you want to work with me one-to-one, you can find me on my website, written in the stars-astrology.com, straight to the services section. That is where you can purchase a consultation with me. If you're a new client, the 1 hour, 15-minute Zoom consultation is the one to go for. So not everything is going to resonate with you, also because not every single astrological event in the sky activates your own natal chart. That's why I always say, pay attention to the degree at which this particular astrological event is happening. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, then obviously you don't have to worry about it. This is a little bit more advanced astrology. And last but not least, remember that astrology is archetypally and symbolically descriptive and predictive. It helps us make sense of the cosmos. It helps us make sense of the ebbs and flows of the universe, energetically speaking. It does not predict, I repeat, it does not predict exact concrete material manifestation. It is symbolic. There are various ways in which the symbolism can manifest in the 3D reality. So if you are looking after clairvoyance, this channel and astrology in general is not what you're looking for. So astrology is not clairvoyance, it's not mediumistic, it's not psychic. Astrology follows the cycles of the cosmos, of the planets, and its main purpose is to help us reconnect with our soul's intentions, make better informed choices, and align ourselves with the tides and the rhythm of the universe. And it doesn't take away our free will, which is another reason why it does not predict exact material manifestation. I know I keep on banging on about this, I repeat it every single time, and people are still, oh no, this did not happen exactly as Rux said it. I'm like, yeah, because I'm not a clairvoyant and I've never claimed to be, and as an astrologer, whoever claims to be able to predict in the 3D reality, I mean, they're either lying or they're unbelievably intuitive and they might be psychic, and I'm fully aware of the fact that some astrologers could be psychics, of course. So many caveats, but I feel like I have to say them, because if not, people comment, and in my head I'm like, oh, but I've repeated this, or I've said it in another video, and sometimes I'm afraid, or I'm not afraid, I'm reluctant to repeat myself, but I do believe it's important to manage expectations, okay? So that's it. Those are the caveats. Now we're obviously going to start off with the one and only Aries, Aries suns and Aries risings. My lovely Aries, 5th of July, active also 3 days before, 3 days after. We've got a new moon in your 4th house of home, family, living situation, private life, making a really nice aspect with Saturn and conjunct Venus. Okay, so this is a beautiful fresh start. It feels like you're either kicking off a new chapter or beginning a new project connected with your home life, your family life. Some of you could be, for example, starting to maybe redecorate the home or welcome into the home a new family member, welcome someone new in the midst of your clan, someone that you really love, that you really appreciate, that you've got a lot of affection for. Some of you could be moving in with a partner or starting to make plans to potentially, I don't know, like have a family, have a baby with a partner. It feels like the relationship with someone close, it could be a parent or a romantic partner, is getting a refresh, is getting a reset, and there is a much stronger level of closeness, a much stronger emotional emotional bond, emotional connection between you and this person. The relationship with a parent could go through some sort of an improvement. It also feels like you could start working on something very privately behind the scenes with a loved one. That is going to change your status in the world. So for example, privately, you might start planning, let's say, a wedding with a loved one. I do believe you're really motivated and driven to invest time and energy and resources and money into this venture, into this new endeavor. Some of you could be moving into a new home, or you could start looking for a new home. I really like this new moon because it feels like you've got people who love you on your side, Aries. You are feeling really appreciated and cared for at home, and you might also feel potentially driven and motivated to start taking care of people that you love in a novel way. Beautiful new moon. Taurus suns and Taurus risings. 5th of July, active 3 days before, 3 days after. We have a new moon happening in, let's see, happening in your 3rd house of communication, education, short distance travel, siblings, neighborhood. And this new moon is forming a harmonious aspect with Saturn in your 11th house, and it is conjunct Venus. I feel like you could start learning potentially something new. You could start you could start developing possibly your skills. I'm thinking also of like soft skills here. Maybe communication skills, negotiation skills, presentation skills, in a classroom type of environment, in a group type of environment. These soft skills, if you continue developing them, my dear Taurus, they are potentially likely to help you in your career in the long term. Yes, maybe it's going to take a while. Maybe it's going to take some time, I don't know, to see some results, because we've got the involvement of Saturn. So it is a long-term kind of game that you're playing here. But I do believe you are likely to reap the rewards of investing time and energy in this direction. There could be a fresh start that really warms up your heart, happening also in the life of a sibling or cousin in particular. Taurians, maybe they're I don't know, sharing news that they're gonna get married. Maybe they're sharing news that they're planning to have a baby. Maybe they're sharing news that they're planning to move. You do seem to support them, to trust them, and possibly even to help them with emotional support, maybe with a piece of advice, maybe also with I don't know, some good contacts in terms of the people they can reach out to. The relationship with a sibling, a colleague, or a cousin could go through a reset. It could feel like you're closer than ever. It could feel like it's going through some sort of like major improvement. Like you're much more aligned. You're much more on the same kind of like on the same wavelength. You get along a lot better, and you feel much more at ease and at peace with this person. Some of you could be buying a new car. Some of you could be maybe selling something and kind of like creating room in your life, creating space in your life, maybe for like an object or something that is better suited to serve your needs at this time. Some of you could also start writing something very important. You may start writing, I don't know, your thesis. You may start writing a presentation that is potentially going to take a while, but it feels like you've got good people around you. You can brainstorm. You can count on them as friends. You can count on their support. So I am liking this new moon. Geminis, Gemini suns and Gemini risings. 5th of July, active 3 days before, 3 days after. This new moon activates your 2nd house of income, self-worth, self-esteem, resources, values. I feel like you're your experience could be focused on one of the following, my dear Geminis, at the time of this new moon. Some of you could be welcoming in more money, a new source of income, or a new partnership that is going to lead to more money making its way to you. So that could be maybe the more kind of like physical, material manifestation of this lunation. Some of you could start spending money on the things that really fill up emotionally, the things that really fulfill emotionally, your children or a loved one. So you could feel moved internally to start directing some more of your resources towards an activity, a service, towards something that makes either one of your children happy or a loved one happy. It could be a romantic partner, for example. It feels like your value system could also be going through a reset, and you could become much more aware of the fact that family, home, children, a sense of belonging, a sense of close connection, a sense of strong emotional connection is very, very, very important for you, my dear Geminis. There is a possibility that you may start, as a result, to invest more time, energy, and resources into the relationships with family members, children, loved ones, because you realize this is really what fills my cup. Those of you who are looking to increase their income, who are looking to maybe attract more clients their way, who are looking to step up career-wise, it feels like an opportunity is making its way to you. Someone really values you, someone really appreciates you, and they're also likely to contribute in some shape or form, maybe because they're a very prestigious client. They're very likely to contribute to you growing professionally as a result of saying yes to this opportunity. You are likely to feel much more valued and appreciated professionally at the time of this new moon. It feels like your self-esteem is also getting a boost, and as a result, it might motivate you. It might trigger you, but in a positive way, maybe to build more professionally, maybe to take on more responsibility and to follow, I mean, I know it sounds cheesy, but literally to follow your dreams. And that is Gemini. My dear Cancerians, Cancer suns and Cancer risings. This new moon puts the spotlight on us. Why us? Because I'm also Cancer rising. I like this new moon, 5th of July, active 3 days before, 3 days after. It feels like we're getting some sort of a boost in terms of self-worth, self-appreciation, in terms of self-love. It feels like we could be stepping into a new persona, a new sense of identity. It does feel like we are stepping into some sort of new role, potentially, in our lives. A new role, maybe within the family. So we could be accepting a new role within the family. It could also feel like finally we found a way to connect with that sense of home and belonging and emotional safety and security within ourselves rather than externally, let's say. You are probably going to feel very loved and appreciated by friends and family members around this time, my dear Cancerians. You might also decide to embark upon a journey of work on your own emotional health, physical health, mental health at the time of this new moon. The new moon could also bring a fresh start spiritually speaking, because of we do have a trine to Saturn in the 9th house. So you may feel like you really resonate with a certain spiritual path, maybe with a spiritual guru, mentor, teacher, and as a result, you might decide to start investing more energy and time into self-development by also following this set of spiritual maybe principles or beliefs, I'd say. Whatever you're deciding to start working on at the time of this new moon, Cancerians, be it spiritual, be it educational, be it physical, do ask for support from friends because they are likely to maybe speed up the process for you. And some of you could also be receiving good news or start working on something that is very important for the long term, connected with legal matters or your legal status or your connection with foreign lands and foreign countries. So if you wanted to, for example, finally initiate the process of, I don't know, applying for citizenship or green card or visa, this is a very good new moon to start doing that. Leos, Leo suns and Leo risings. My dear Leos, 5th of July, active 3 days before, 3 days after. We've got a new one in your 12th house. Conjunct Venus and trine Saturn. Let's see. Venus rules your 10th house of career and your 3rd house of communication and learning, and Saturn rules the 6th house of work and the 7th house of relationships. So, Leos, it feels like this new moon is drawing your attention towards how you sabotage yourselves. Addiction, escapism, mental health, retreat, escape from the world, surrender, maybe also loss, maybe also the subconscious, dreams, rest, and relaxation. This feels like the time when you could start working behind the scenes on liberating yourselves, Leos, of maybe an addiction or a self-destructive behavior, a behavior that you engaged in when... I was about to say when you want to self-sabotage, but I suppose no one really wants to self-sabotage, so you might engage in it subconsciously. So this could be the time, for example, when you start working with a counselor, with a therapist, with someone really close, like an advisor, to help you get rid of something that is no longer serving you from an emotional perspective and from a mental health perspective. This could also be the time when you decide to prioritize a lot more time spent away from the world together with your partner. And you might decide to invest more in creating your own, how should we call it, bubble away from the world that allows you to rest, to relax, that allows you to get away from the maddening crowd. It can also be the time when you start working on freeing yourselves, Leos, of any debt. Maybe you're not going to share this with everyone. Maybe you're only going to share it with someone really close to you, or with a business partner, or with a financial advisor, possibly, because they know the ins and outs of your financial affairs. It is a great time to start clearing things out from your life, Leos. You could also start working on something behind the scenes that will allow you a little bit further down the line to maybe leave behind an aspect of your career that you are no longer interested in, I don't know, growing and investing time in that. Pay attention to what sort of like feelings, unexpressed emotions, unexpressed needs come to the surface at the time of this new moon, Leos, and do not be afraid. Please don't be afraid to share these with those close to you, especially a partner if you have a partner, because it does feel like a partner can really help you fulfill those needs and maybe also help you feel safe whilst expressing certain feelings and possibly even wounds and vulnerabilities. Virgos, Virgo suns and Virgo risings. 5th of July, active, 3 days before, 3 days after. We've got a new one in your 11th house. I like this, my dear Virgos. Why? Because the new moon is going to be conjunct Venus. For you, my dear Virgos, Venus rules your 2nd house of income. And the new moon is also going to be very nicely aspected to Saturn in the 7th house, which is also the ruler of your 6th house of day-to-day work. So a few things. This is a time when you could be setting new goals, new objectives, new targets, new intentions about the future, especially the future connected with home, family life, roots, maybe having children, You could also be setting goals and intentions around this time and really listening to your intuition, really listening to your gut when it comes to your work. So I do believe that this is a very, very good time, my dear Virgos, to tune into the heart space, tune into your inner world, and allow your intuition, allow your instinct to guide you towards goals for the future professionally that would really nourish your soul, I'd say. This is a perfect time to join a new group, a new community, a new organization that maybe gives you a sense of belonging, a sense of emotional security, a sense of being nurtured, especially by people who understand emotionally what you're going through. It could be a good time to join this type of community, especially a community that is somehow aligned with your professional sector, the sector that you activate in, or the sector that you want to be potentially successful in, I'd say. New beginning friendship-wise, my dear Virgos. Maybe you're welcoming a new friend into your life. You could be receiving almost from the universe a gift in the form of a friend, or a gift maybe reaching you through a friend that will have a positive impact on your work life and on your financial situation. So maybe a friend that, I don't know, works for like a prestigious company, or reaches out to you and says, I've got just the opportunity for you. Don't you want to, join us? Because I think you're just the person. And you could feel really, moved, emotionally speaking, because this person really seems to care about you and really appreciate you as well. You could also hear news from friends at the time of this new moon, my dear Virgos. Some of them could be, sharing news regarding their relationship sector. Maybe they're getting engaged, married, etc. This also feels like a good time to set goals and intentions together with a partner, a life partner, but also a business partner. And last but not least, it is also a good time to invest more emotional energy into projects that you really care about, and to not be afraid to show that you care, Virgos. My dear Libras, Libra suns and Libra risings. Let's see, 5th of July, not 7th, 5th of July, active 3 days before, 3 days after. We've got a new one in your 10th house of career, public status, and public reputation, trining Saturn and conjunct Venus. Okay, Libras, this is superb. Superb seems to be my preferred word today when I'm filming this. So, some of you Libras, especially Libra risings, could be getting a very prestigious maybe job offer. Some of you could be stepping up professionally. You could be getting a raise, a promotion. You could be getting a very significant opportunity that somehow finds its way to you. You could be attracting literally a very significant opportunity that will help you step up dramatically on the professional ladder. This can be something that you're going to invest energy in the long term. Some of you could be entering a new career path altogether, could be saying yes to a new career path altogether, maybe like a new sector altogether. Once again, it feels like it's something that you are likely to stick with for a long time. And it's also something that you're likely to maybe resonate with, because it feels like you can express yourselves creatively in this space as well, and tune into your kind of like imagination and maybe bring in your tastes, your kind of like artistic creative inclinations. This could also be a time when a new boss comes in if you're working for someone else, and it does feel like this person really is open to hearing what you need in order to do your absolute best job possible. This new moon can also bring a fresh start, especially for the mother. My dear Libras, the mother could be experiencing a rebirth, a reset, how should we call it, a fresh start when it comes to to her health, but also maybe when it comes to her work. It feels like the hardest part is behind her, and after a lot of hard work, her efforts are being rewarded, let's say. Some of you could also experience, so forget career Leave the career aside, leave the mother aside. Some of you could be experiencing a new beginning in terms of your status and reputation out into the world. It feels like you may want to present yourselves out into the world in terms of status, in terms of, I don't know, image, in a novel way, in a different way. You might be redoing your website, for instance. You might be changing, I don't know, your like social media, LinkedIn, and all of that. You could be giving it a refresh. You could be investing more into conveying the right energy, conveying the right feelings, conveying the right, I don't know, emotions to people in the professional space when they, I don't know, look you up on online. It's also a time when you are likely to feel much more exposed, much more in the spotlight. Everyone's looking at you, and it feels like they are looking at you because you can do a good job. So you are receiving a lot of exposure. You could also start contributing to society and to the community in a new way, for example, through volunteering or through accepting a position at your child's school. And some of you could be experiencing a change in status because of maybe children in some shape or form. Maybe, I don't know, you're hearing news of pregnancy and all of a sudden you're like, I might be a parent. So that is also a possibility. Scorpio suns and Scorpio risings. 5th of July, active, 3 days before, 3 days after. The new one is happening in your 9th house. It's conjunct Venus. And it is trining Saturn in Pisces. Okay, so a few things. First and foremost, this feels like a fresh start, Scorpios, in terms of belief system and mentality and life philosophy for you. It feels like your mentality is going through a reset. The way that you find meaning in life, in the world, that's going through a reset. It feels like you're looking at love, relationships, children, family, through a new set of eyes. It feels like you're much more attuned to what makes you emotionally fulfilled in this space. It feels like you're listening to your gut, you're listening to your instinct, you're listening to your intuition, and you are following your instinct and your intuition in this direction. It feels like you're going through a moment of enlightenment, an aha moment. Philosophically speaking, but also possibly spiritually speaking. You could feel really, really connected spiritually with the source of love, the source of divine love, and you could feel that love flowing through you towards partners, towards children, and towards loved ones in general. This can also be the time, more on the 3D mundane reality plane, and these are just a few examples. This could also be the time when you're entering a fresh chapter from a status perspective abroad. So if you're living abroad, if you've applied, I don't know, for like a foreign passport, foreign visa, residency, it could feel like you are finally receiving that and your status is changing, and as a result maybe you can make plans together with your partner. You can look towards the future. You can maybe travel more with your partner because your legal status has changed. Speaking of partners, those of you who are in a relationship could feel like you together with a partner are on the same page. You're aligned in terms of mentality, beliefs, maybe even political views when it comes to the education of children, when it comes to maybe raising a child, maybe even when it comes to what sort of school you would like a child to attend. This can also be a fresh start in terms of the education of either you or a partner or a child. And let's say, for example, you have a child who's been accepted to, I don't know, university, college, somewhere far from home, and together with your partner, you're realizing, okay, so we are going to have to travel quite a bit in order to see this, I don't know, daughter of ours, who is like 3 hours away from home. This can also be the time when together with a partner you make a legal commitment and you sign some sort of a legal agreement, I'd say. This can also be a very auspicious time to reach an agreement with a business partner in some shape or form. A business partner, maybe that is based abroad, maybe to reach an agreement with possibly like a collaborator or a supplier or a stakeholder that is based abroad. This can also be the time maybe when a family member lets you know that they're going to travel more or that they are even going to live abroad. overall, a very nice, a very supportive energy. I wanna say, Scorpios. Sagittarius suns and Sagittarius risings. What does the new moon have in store for you? Let's see. Sagittarians, the new moon activates your 8th house of shared assets, shared resources, other people's money, taxes, debts, and so on. We've also got Venus involved, ruling your 6th house of day-to-day work, and your 11th house, and Saturn involved, which rules your 2nd and your 3rd house. A few things. So, some of you could be entering a new chapter, a new stage of your lives when it comes to other people's money, other people's resources. For example, some of you could hear news that your mortgage application has been approved, has been accepted. Fantastic. If you are in a relationship, you could hear news that your partner's salary, for example, has increased. Some of you could be entering a new chapter when it comes to clearing out debt. So you might set an intention to potentially get rid of debt, maybe to pay, to pay more than I don't know, just the bare minimum or whatever it's called every month. So you could take a novel approach to debt, and it could feel like there's someone in your life helping you clear this out, get rid of maybe the burden of debt. It is a time of transformation, this new moon. You could be transforming also your attitude towards money, I want to say, and towards the partner's money, and towards shared assets and shared resources in general. So emotionally, intuitively, you could feel like you're having an aha moment where you're like, okay, if I've been, living in fear around checking my bank account. I have heard about people literally not checking their bank account, not knowing how much money they've got left until their card gets declined. So obviously that comes from a very difficult space, emotionally speaking. So your emotional inner relationship with money can go through a change, can go through a reset, and it feels like you're benefiting from the help of someone. This could also be the time when you take a very transformative approach to something connected with your health, and the approach could be also geared towards managing difficult feelings and emotions that could be negatively impacting your health. This also feels like a time when you could receive some sort of support, resources-wise. It could be money, it could be time, it could be energy from family members in order for you to accomplish your goals, Sagittarians. Also, not just your goals, but whatever it is that you have to do on a day-to-day basis. So to just kind of like get the to-do list out of the way, I'd say. It feels like a chapter of transformation begins around this time. It does stir up very strong feelings, but you've got a lot of support, you've got a lot of help, and you only need to say the word. And people around you, especially family, are there for you. Even friends, but especially family, my dear Sagittarians. My dear Capricorns, Capricorn suns and Capricorn risings. 5th of July, active 3 days before, 3 days after. The spotlight is being placed on your 7th house. Fresh start, new beginning, concerning one of the following. Partners, it could be life partners, it could be business partners, it could be advisors, it could be consultants, it could be guides, it could be people that you work with one-to-one. This new moon is likely to bring in a new partnership, a new collaboration, a new connection that you may benefit from financially. So a new business partnership. You may decide to work with someone on the long term. It could be a business collaboration, or it could be the collaboration with someone who's going to help you manage your finances better, for example. You could start working with someone that has got a lot to teach you in terms of how to intuitively, skillfully navigate the realm of money and finances, but also the realm of sales, of negotiations, maybe of public presentations. You could start working with someone that is here to help you accomplish a long-term goal connected with writing, speaking, or education, or even driving. This can also feel like a time when your romantic relationship is going through a reset, a new beginning when it comes to being on the same page, understanding each other a lot better, my dear Capricorns, understanding your partner better. They understand you, you understand them much better. You're willing to talk about what goes on the inside. You might feel much more aligned from a communications perspective. You might feel a lot closer to someone in your life. If you are not in a relationship, Capricorns, then this new moon can bring in a fresh start romantically. It could be with someone that you've known for some time, that you feel very at home with, that you feel very comfortable with, and you could have this sort of like heart-to-heart, very open conversation with them, and it does seem to usher in a new romantic, very enjoyable beginning for you, my lovely Capricorns. This can also be the time when you discuss about a very serious long-term plan with a partner. For those of you who are married or in a relationship, Capricorns, you could discuss with a partner about a long-term plan that involves spending a lot of money. When it comes to children, so let's say your child, I don't know, is super talented at playing tennis, and tennis is very expensive. I played tennis for a long time as a kid, and I remember from my parents that they would always remind me how expensive things were and how much of a sacrifice they were making in order for me to play tennis. And to be honest, it actually sucked the joy out of playing tennis, but enough of that. This is not about me. So let's say your child is very good at tennis, is very talented, and you realize, okay, this is going to be an investment, this is going to be costly. Together with your partner, Capricorns, you might decide, okay, this is what we're going to do about it. We are in. We are going to go full speed ahead, and we are aware of the consequences of our decision, and we take full kind of responsibility for our decision. You might also decide together with a partner at this point in time, Capricorns, maybe to try for a baby if you don't have kids. Aquarius suns and Aquarius risings. 5th of July, active 3 days before, 3 days after, new moon in your 6th house, trining Saturn, conjunct Venus, sextiling Mars. A lot is going on, my dear Aquarians. So it feels like you are likely to listen to your gut, to your feelings, to your instinct, to your intuition, my dear Aquarians, and potentially start off a new routine, and maybe approach in a novel way your existing day-to-day routine in such a way that it supports your emotional health, that it supports your emotional well-being, but also in such a way that it supports your physical well-being. So for example, you might start investing in, I don't know, weekly therapy sessions, or weekly, it doesn't have to be weekly, it could be, I don't know, monthly, massage or chiropractor sessions. Maybe it feels like a small thing, but emotionally it feels like it's very nourishing and nurturing and fulfilling, and it makes you, I don't know, like release like tension and pent up energy within the body. So this could be the time when you kick off a new chapter that is going to help you health-wise. Some of you could also kick off a new chapter work-wise. So you could be saying yes to a new job. You could be welcoming in maybe a new colleague, a new client, possibly, my dear Aquarians. If you are starting off a new job, or if you are accepting a new position, it feels like it's also going to pay off materially. Yes, it is likely to bring in more responsibility, but it does feel like that responsibility is likely to be compensated. If you are accepting more responsibility, make sure that you're also compensated for what you're bringing to the table, and especially for your experience. It feels like your experience is really, really strongly appreciated in the workspace around this time. You might also start working with a family member on something around this time, my dear Aquarians. So potentially start working on something connected with the home, connected with family life, maybe connected with children. So it could feel like how should we call it? Like a new job is added to your to-do list, but it could be a job, quote unquote, that you need to do at home. So I don't know whether that is like renovating the home, whether that is yeah, something that you do together around the house, like, I don't know, working on an extension or whatever that is. It could also feel like you're willing to work in a different way on the relationship with a family member around this time, and find a new dynamic, find a novel dynamic that is much more emotionally fulfilling for both of you. And last but not least, my dear Pisces, Pisces suns and Pisces risings, 5th of July, active 3 days before, 3 days after. This new moon puts the spotlight on your 5th house. Fresh start and new beginning that stirs up very strong emotions, very powerful emotions, very pleasant feelings and needs seem to be appeased, or seem to be activated at the time of this new moon, Pisces, when it comes to children. So some of you could be hearing news of pregnancy. Some of you could be deciding to, I don't know, try to have a child. Those of you who have children already, it feels like the relationship with children is going through some sort of an improvement. You might feel much closer to them emotionally. You might feel much more aligned. You might feel much more connected with their needs. You might feel much more able to deliver in a practical way on what makes them feel emotionally safe and secure, and what gives them a strong sense of groundedness, rootedness, and belonging, and obviously emotional safety. I think that's very, very important. This could also be the new beginning, Pisces, that allows you to maybe tap into your creative talents in a novel way, in a different way. So, for example, if there is anything long-term that you've been meaning to work on in the creative space, this could be a great time to say, okay, finally I commit to it. I'm gonna build this thing. I'm gonna work on my, I don't know, work of art. I know it's gonna take me, I don't know, a year or a long time, I repeat, because Saturn is involved, but I am willing to do this. It could also feel like you become much more consciously aware of what makes you happy, Pisces, around this time. So what makes your heart jump for joy, burst with joy and fulfillment, and you might decide, you know what, I'm gonna invest more time in this because this is what makes me happy. So why not? Some of you could start, for example, to develop qualities and skills in a new direction that maybe involves work and effort, a direction that is somehow creative, artistic, imaginative. So, for example, you might decide, you know what, I want to learn how to play the guitar. Just an example. Some sort of commitment towards a creative project, or towards something connected with children, or towards a loved one, or towards a romantic relationship. I'd say, Pisces. Speaking of romantic relationships, this is a very, very romantic new moon. It does feel like you are very much at home. Or you feel very much at home with someone else romantically. If you're single, then this is a very good time to date, and potentially even to date or to connect with someone from your past that maybe you've known for a long time and you feel very comfortable with them. And why not give them a chance if they reach out to you. It might also feel like the time to finally prioritize pleasure, because you've been having quite a journey, quite a ride since last year in the spring, since pretty much March of 2023, if I'm not mistaken. You've been experiencing a lot of pressure, a lot of stress, maybe a lot of duties and responsibilities, my dear Pisces, especially Pisces risings. And now you might feel like, okay, the hardest part is over, and I can also start investing more time and energy into what brings me joy and pleasure, and into what is fun and entertaining in my life. And it could feel like you also have the experience and the pragmatism to organize your time and to organize your life in such a way that you've got time to, I don't know, spend quality time with family members, spend time at home cooking, gardening, or something that really, again, that makes you happy on an internal level, Pisces. And that is the new moon for you. Please let us know in the comments how this new moon is playing out for you. Once again, it does feel like it's bringing in this fresh start, this fresh energy more on the inside rather than the outside. Be open to receiving sweetness from others in your lives, folks, and to receiving good news and to receiving this sort of like general kind of like harmonious, cozy, comfortable vibe from others, folks. Remember that if you want to work with me, you can find me on my website, which is writteninthestars-astrology.com. Straight to the services section. If you're a new client, the 1 hour, 15-minute Zoom consultation is the one to go for. If you're an existing client, you know you've got other options, such as the year ahead forecast, also the 30 minutes follow-up consultation. And I would absolutely love to connect with you in person on the 3rd and 4th of August when I'm hosting an astrological weekend in London. 2 workshops is what I'm running live in person in London. There will be no recording of this. It is only live, 4 hours long on the 3rd and on the 4th of August. On the 3rd of August, we're talking about astrology and prosperity. We're diving into the house of money in the natal chart. And on the 4th of August, we are talking about good luck in astrology. To be more specific, Jupiter, the greater benefic, and how Jupiter is linked with luck, and how can we bring more good luck into our lives through the energy of Jupiter. Thank you once again. If you haven't subscribed, what are you waiting for? And if you are interested in following me on Instagram for more personal updates, my handle is @ruxunbelievable. I will see you next time, folks. Thank you. Bye.